Thank you to Morris Arkletum for their generous donation on Patreon. If you would like to join them in their generosity, the link to my Patreon page is in the description.
That has to... That is, if anything, a confirmation that the shit in Echo is the other from the Adastra games. Because they described it exactly the same. They even frequently referenced drowning, which I don't know if you've noticed is a bit of a motif I almost said repeat in Echo. So, did I say repeat earlier? Fuck me if my brain ain't just the shits today. Christ.
I have extremely vivid dreams. First of my childhood. I began attending an elite school when I was 13. I was very sad to leave my mother and my friends in the coastal town that I was born in. Still, I was told it was necessary, that my mind was gifted and was destined for greatness. A lot of depressed motherfuckers who were told that as a kid. In the end, I found out that while this was true for most of my classmates, it was clear that I had been admitted for other reasons. The first day, the instructor called on me to solve a problem using maths that I had never even heard of in my homeschooling. He framed the problem within a scenario that involved rich families and their young living on estates. The solution to the scenario was the amount of money required to bribe a local official who would then secure a spot in an elite school for one of these rich pups. Thus making his point. I was there because my family had connections, and more importantly, because they had money. Money that was being wasted on a stupid, average-brained pup that could only answer questions with "I don't know" while trembling in fear. Then, during mealtime, my mane was pulled and I experienced my first physical fights, ones that ended with me curled on the floor, covering my face. The experience was humiliating, traumatizing even, but I sobbed quietly in my dorm room alone, wondering how I could possibly survive another day. I became angry. I knew very little about my father at the time, but I did know that he was a figure to be proud of, a professor of rhetoric. The proudest of woven disciplines, one that no sibling could match, not even the Khemians. So I knew I had every reason to be proud of my family name, and I had every right to be in that school. At the beginning, my instructor devoted 5 minutes at the end of each class period to humiliate me with questions he assumed I would not know the answer to. He likely hoped I would quit. And instead, I studied and used what I learned to fight back. Within a month, I was answering more than half of his questions correctly, and that's when he stopped. I mentioned his name to my mother in one of my letters, and within weeks, he was gone. Fired by the headmaster who my mother knew very well. As soon as my mane was touched, I would swing as hard as I possibly could, fracturing 2 jaws before the attack stopped altogether. Eventually, I was at the top of my class, and by the time I graduated 5 years later, I was accepted into the most prestigious university on the moon. This was an odd dream. It's more of a narration of my past life. But it's important, because I fought hard to be here. And I'm beginning to realize that while I believed those troublesome days of my youth to be over, that might not actually be the case. I need to fight now, for my family's sake, and for my own. I see myself curled up, sobbing after smoking Brunus's pipe, and I sneer in a way that feels very unfamiliar. But it feels good. As these images of my childhood fade, I remember that the school I attended on the outskirts of Lux no longer exists. Almost a decade after my graduation, on the same day my life changed at the university, the school was burned to the ground by a mob of men from Lux. I never researched the aftermath because while I know most of the pups got out, some of them did not. Because of men who saw their gifted minds as threats. Just like the men who tried to kill me. And while I have tried to understand the plights of those who are poor, or less educated, I sometimes find myself doing the opposite. Those men were beasts.
violent, stupid beasts who could not reconcile with the fact that they were in many ways innately inferior. And that made me, my peers, and my professors a threat to them. This is an incorrect way to think, I know. Yet if I were to strip away all of that etiquette, all of the structured thinking that comes with being an academic, I would want to do the same to places like the Clay District, where most of the men came from. I would like to raise that degenerate, disgusting place, filled with the degenerate, disgusting people to the point that it would seem as if it never existed. Like removing a stain from the fabric of Adastran society. I want to tear them apart. Because my friends, my professors, and parts of my mind have been torn apart. And because the pups burned in the outskirts of Lux have been torn apart. Dissolved into the horror of the amalgamation, they were themselves torn apart before they even knew who they were meant to be. What is this? This disturbingly lucid dream. Is it a dream at all? Oh, we know this picture. I stare out into the vast stretches of space, in awe of the size and the simple fact that the universe exists. Vaguely, I wonder if I've died. As if the moment I smoked the pipe, I actually did die. Or maybe our ship somehow crashed, and I've been left to float through space forever. Or for only a few more seconds before I suffocate. That'd be alright, I decide. Even as I take a deep, easy breath of air, I'd rather feel this way. Insignificant and meaningless against the monolithic oppression of the universe. It makes me feel oddly peaceful.
My goodness, Scipio! If only your friends and colleagues could hear half of what you think. You sound a bit unstable.
A deep but feminine voice. Sorry, that is definitely... Oh, I hate it when I get it wrong. A deep but feminine voice comes from seemingly every direction. I look around, suddenly feeling as if I'm being spied upon, wondering if the directionless voice is from my own head. What? Amicus would not be happy to hear that you wish to raise entire districts to cleanse Adastra of its lower class. The firm my neck prickles. I still have no idea what is happening, if this is truly a dream, or possibly even another side effect of the drugs. I didn't mean to think those things. I don't truly believe them. I mean... There's a deep, raspy chuckle, one that I recognize as distinctly feline. The one I've heard many times from recordings that involved Hindos. And I don't believe that, young wolf. And good guess, especially for someone who has never met a tiger. I fucking thought it. I thought it, and then, right away, fucking Mira. Holy shit. She is really out to fucking get us, man. But can you guess who I actually am? Her eyes are so piercing, so intense that although I want to ask again what exactly is happening, I feel obliged to answer. So I quickly run through a list of tigresses I know of, only one of which is alive, the current ruler of Hindo. Maharani Arti? Tigress eyes me closely, so that I lower my ears, just wishing that I could wake up soon. Consider the impossibility of where you are. You think Artie would try to come all the way here to talk to some pup? I swallow hard, trying to keep my breathing even, because whatever this is, I think that this is somehow real. Which makes the possibility that this being can read my mind all the more disturbing. But there could be an explanation. Are you Mira? The quiet smile on her face answers my question. Well, I suppose 2 attempts is not terrible. Though I must say that the human knew immediately. Amicus is human? If that is how you want to refer to him, yes. My explanation is seeming more likely, but I can't imagine why it would be the case. Mira stays silent, though the knowing look on her face tells me that she's waiting. Are the parents doing this? Are they making contact with me? Just like it is rumored that they did with the human? Mira's quiet for a while, so I stay quiet as well, unable to think of any other reason for this to be happening, if it is really happening. The parents are a complex matter, Scipio. Direct communication with them is impossible unless they break their own rules involving interference. I try to think of something else to say, but it is clear Mira is holding back information. Instead, I try to be more direct. Why did you bring me here? Is there something that I'm supposed to do, or maybe you have instructions? Well, Scipio, I heard you. You are in need of guidance. You are wounded, but in a place that cannot be physically treated. Mira taps a finger to her head. You fear death. You fear the amalgamation. Rather, you feel it is an abomination. And deep down, though you will not admit it even to yourself, my hackles won't stay down as I know now, now I just want to wake up. Jesus. You do not trust the parents. Am I going to be punished? They know I'm a fraud on a mission to further parental agendas when I don't truly believe in them. I'm only here for selfish reasons. I realize my legs are trembling. Please wake up. Mira raises a paw. Easy, young wolf. I am only here to help you, to warn and to advise. You need guidance, and I am here to offer it if you will take it. I frown and rack my brain for the lessons I had on Mira. If she was ever used in this manner in the past, her main purpose was of that of self-sacrifice, to push Drusus in the correct direction for the Empire. She has little to do with the parents. As far as I know, it is only the monitors that communicate for the parents. Does that mean that this is not sanctioned by the parents? Yes. And do not be afraid that you are not in lockstep with their vision for the future. I certainly am not. I never enter the amalgamation, as I believe that it is an attack on life, rather than a preservation of it. And in the end, neither are they. They bicker just as much as the siblings. Oh boy, fading. The borders of the odd in-between world begin to shimmer and fade, and I realize it's ending. Wait! Please, you say that you do not have to go to the amalgamation, that you can help fix me. Please, don't leave me yet. Mira smiles at me, at my desperation that I know must look unhinged, but I am truly desperate. This will not be the last time we speak. Trust that I will appear again when the time is right. This was merely an introduction. Okay. Thank you, Mira. Oh, she's gonna fuck with us, man. This is scary. It was a pleasure meeting you, Scipio. Until next time. Oh, man. How many people are using us for ulterior motives? Christ. I slowly open my eyes, and this time I know I am truly awake. Despite being slightly groggy, I feel that I am mostly back to normal. I assess everything slowly, not wanting to make any sudden movements in case I'm still under the influence of the drugs. But again, all seems normal. I can make a movement to sit up, and that's when someone beside me shifts. I gasp quietly, jerking my head in that direction, only to see Neferu there, sitting on the floor with his back against the bed. I rub my chest reflexively, wondering why I'm so on edge, but also remembering that I had some very odd dreams that I can't quite remember. Sorry for startling you, and apologies if it seems that I am still treating you like a child, but unfortunately, after what happened, I needed to be nearby for my own peace of mind. I shift and turn over so that I am facing Neferu more directly, simultaneously pulling back the covers as an invitation for Neferu to sit, which he does. You didn't have to sit on the floor. We've shared a bed before, in both ways. Well, yes, but you seemed upset before you went to sleep, and I feel it's rude to impose without asking in the first place. Well, now you know that you are always welcome, unless circumstances change. You seem to be in good spirits, the way you always seemed to be before this mission. You say that as if it's been a long time. We're not even a day into the mission, Neferu. Neferu is correct, though. For some reason, I'm far more optimistic now. More confident, more... Suddenly, I have some recollection of as to what I dreamed. Or didn't dream. It does feel like a very long time. And like it or not, what has happened to you since is very troublesome. Are you alright? Neferu catches me not really paying attention as I revisit this dream, or even vision, of Mira. Sorry, just thinking back at what happened. Yeah, it was somewhat ridiculous, but I think I have my mindset in order once again. That's good to hear. Wow, look at this picture. He's so happy. And what was with that neck? The spine does not bend that way. However, mental relapse is something you should expect to happen. Not that I want to bring your spirits down, but when it does, please do not hesitate to talk to me. I nod, though my mind is still on the vision. Part of me worries that it might be part of a delusion due to the drugs, and I especially don't trust my interpretation of what's real when I was just hearing voices. However, Mira had said something about the human meeting her, and Neferu knew him well. Perhaps he knows something about this. Or perhaps even Amicus, though I immediately have a strange but discernible feeling that might not be the best idea. I don't know why, but a hopeful part of me wishes that this might be the guidance Mira spoke of. Despite my doubts, however, the potential that somehow an entity that avoided the amalgamation is trying to help me, well, it's left me in a good mood. I take advantage of that to try to fully mend my friendship with Neferu, though I feel it's not even necessary, judging by how he's acting. And I'm sorry for pushing you away earlier. I could tell that was hurtful, and I didn't mean for it to be. I simply wanted to appear less weak during a moment of weakness. Oh, you don't need to apologize. That's my own fault. Oh? How so? In the back of my mind, I remind myself that despite the intimate, close feelings I have with Neferu, this is all still technically a game. I should be calculating the best way to establish a relationship with Neferu that relationship that Neferu cannot do without, even if Khemia itself is at stake. Veterus told me earlier that this is an especially promising exploit considering Neferu's relationship with his family. That is my job as a diplomat, but right now I'm following my emotions wherever they take me. That is not how a diplomat should do their job. Still, this feels like the right path. And I imagine there has to be some level of genuine emotion involved if I am to be most effective. Neferu looks at me candidly, setting his lips in a thin line. I don't often like talking about it, but after how I treated you, I owe you. So, I once knew an Amorphin by the name of Alexius.
Fuck that guy! Fuck that guy! God damn it.
Oh, you knew him personally? Alexius, the pet of Cassius, Amicus's brother, and one-time false emperor. Alexius was an agent of Amorpha, sent to Adastra to sow chaos in the very fabric of our society, a mission that was ultimately successful. One could say he's the main reason for the riots occurring. Well, I knew him, but I doubt anyone knew him personally. Anyway, despite nearly toppling Adastran's stability, he was never a very good spy. He was simply underestimated. And he struck Cassius's fancy. It's easier to be a spy when you have such a connection to the very heart of power. I keep a straight face, but can't help but wonder if Neferu was emphasizing this on purpose because he sees right through me.
I see.
Well, whenever he found himself cornered, he often fell into a bit of a peculiar state of mind. Why is peculiar capitalized there? He would dampen his expressions and exhibit the emotional capacity of a rock, a classic diplomatic, defensive maneuver he often deployed to get out of situations he did not like. He's possibly the most evil, amoral creature I have ever had the displeasure to know. To be clear, I knew he was a spy, just as all governments know that visiting diplomats have ulterior motives. But what I didn't expect was a sniveling coward willing to destroy the foundation of an entire civilization, costing thousands of lives. I nod, though not having known the cat, I feel a bit detached. Amorpha has always loathed Adastra, as they see us to be the biggest threat to stability in the Galaxius. With all due respect to Amicus, I had always seen the situation to be the fault of the Imperial family for allowing an Amorphin to get so close in the first place. Anyway, when you came out of that lavatory, the look you gave me was strikingly similar, and I simply know that's not you, Scipio. You are a good, honest person, and I know you'd never do something for the sake of destruction. And I know that because you're my friend. Despite our differences in culture and language, and especially considering the history between our people, I trust you.
There is no doubt now that Nephru is expecting me to read between the lines here. And so, based on everything I know about Nephru, I do just that.
I know you're here to gather intelligence, to better Adastra's position in the Alliance, and to use me as a tool, just as Alexius used Cassius. I'm lonely, and I need someone that I can call a friend, a true friend, and in this relationship, I know that you have nothing to lose, while I could lose everything. But I also know that you are full of compassion, and you would never do what he did. And so while I know that you can't be trusted, I trust you.
At least I hope that's what he thinks of me. I look Nephru in the eye, and in what I hope is a meaningful way so that he might know that I understand. And I trust you. I simply want the galaxy to find peace and happiness for all. And I feel a bit uneasy because I remember those thoughts I'd had in my dream that felt alien, as if they were not my own, but familiar, like I simply keep them hidden from myself. Like removing a stain from the fabric of Adastran society. Could I really think such a thing? Thank you, Skip. Truly. I have a feeling that this experience will truly change your life and your perspective on life itself. Adastra did that for me, both for bad and for good. So just keep an open mind, and like I said, I'm always here. It's a soft chime as suddenly comes in over the public speakers.
Fuck. It's hard to go from Nephru's voice to a smooth voice. I'm talking, but I'm nowhere near the microphone.
Now I am. And now I'm not. But now I am again.
And now I'm too close. Do you like it?
Exiting Stretch Drive in 10 minutes. Prepare for security check and royal escort.
Oh, slow fade out. Is this it? Is this... Oh, no! The update continues!
I guess I slept longer than I thought. Not a surprise considering the sedation, but now I'm fully awake. I see a vast moon below me. Planet, I mean. Khemia is a planet, after all, several times larger than Adastra. At one point, most of the land was inhospitable desert, but through years of investing in building high-tech infrastructure, along with slightly altering the environment of their own planet, something no sibling would risk even trying, most of it is now populated. I stared down at the place that I've been so fascinated with since I was young and found those picture books in the library of that school for the gifted. From this distance, it is a bit strange to see such an unexciting-looking planet. No one would ever guess that the most advanced civilization in the galaxy exists on the surface. At least if they somehow were able to avoid seeing the vast numbers of spacefaring ships flying back and forth.
few ships that have to be several kilometers away still look impressively large, which must mean they're gigantic. Is the red dwarf just gonna fly through? That'd be fucking nuts. And a really weird crossover. At that moment, I realized that I'm seeing something that I've actually studied. The space cruise resorts, each the size of small cities, taking Khemians and many other children and siblings on affordable high-tech vacations. My feelings of wonder only multiply as I remember that the earliest Khemian history is rather bleak. Despite having civilizations before even being uplifted, there was constant war between what were known as water kingdoms. The planet was always at such high risk of drought that the security of water always determined influence, power, and future stability. But, as they always would, the Khemians overcame it. Oh, look at this! That's look at this picture! That's so cool! Scipio's like, holy shit! And everyone's like, yeah, right? And then Brutus is like, I'm here too! Meanwhile, I stand with my face pressed against the glass, gazing out at all the amazing things I can see, all the things I studied for so long. Despite the many rough patches that I have encountered over the course of my journey, this view suddenly makes me realize something. I've made it. After years of hard work and intense competition, I finally made it to my destination. My mission is far from over, of course, but now I can actually see it. My goal is right there, below me. Not only that, but I might be the first wolf in decades to have this view. For a moment, reality seems fragile again, but in a way that's euphoric. I very much hope that I am not dreaming.
You like staring at boring things, kid? Everyone's jealous of Khemia, but damn, it was ugly to look at from afar.
I twitch my ears in acknowledgement of Brunus's teasing, but I continue staring, wanting to imprint the view into my long-term memory. It's a sight I'll likely never have again, especially if our departure has us facing the opposite direction. Khemia is the subject of his study, Brunus, and this is the first time he's seeing it in person.
I know. It's still just a ball of sand, though. At least Adastra looks pretty from above.
I do somewhat agree that there isn't all that much to look at. Meanwhile, Adastra has plentiful diversity and seasons to take advantage of. By all measures, Khemia should have been behind the rest with the terrible start they were given. But once the parents established contact, the Jackals united faster than any other sibling, fully committing themselves to the parents' vision. This led to Khemia having an edge over all siblings ever since. And all of this legendary history took place right there, on this planet. I smile. When a university student chooses Khemian culture as their discipline, they must have at least one course on Adastrian culture that emphasizes the best of Adastra. And despite knowing it all to be blatant propaganda that was so clumsy it usually just left me feeling embarrassed rather than proud, there was a value that they managed to instill in me. One should always be weary of complete submission to a higher power. This doesn't include the Emperor, of course, but rather it was targeted at the parents. There is a certain amount of pride that comes with being the most rebellious sibling race, though the Amorphans might hold that title now. But in the end, we've paid dearly for it. And despite that propaganda-instilled pride, I can only stand in awe while staring down at the home of the Jackals, the siblings that are one step away from parenthood. Despite not having set foot on the planet yet, I'm already extremely envious of these beautiful ships, and I can only wonder where Adastra would be if we cooperated better. I like how the background changes on this. Nephro and Brunus talk amongst themselves, leaving me to absorb the moment. I'm like snapped out of it when I hear Veterus with his reedy, rapid-fire voice nearing the spot that Nephro and I stand. Oh, here we go again. Get ready, voice! Meanwhile, Amicus's deeper, calmer tones give one-worded answers. I finally pull away from the window in time to see the two of them come around the bend of the corridor, Amicus looking annoyed while Veterus looks a bit excited and agitated.
Massive! Massive! Jackals spread all over the land, and they're all sustained with renewable energy and recycled water!
Indeed. And then Amicus spots me and perks up.
They've bested their own planet! Yes, Scipio, I wanted to... They've harnessed the power of the entire star with structures hundreds of times larger than our largest construction projects. Veterus, please, imagine if we could even achieve a fraction... Veterus, stop! For a moment! Please! Of course, Amicus.
Hello, Scipio. I have just come to learn that we will be meeting the Pharaoh upon our landing. It would be best to go over our objectives one final time before starting our assignment. Oh, I forgot to check. Did he add the ring yet? Did they add the ring? It's not on that hand, and I don't... no, they haven't added the ring yet, but they did say they were going to add the ring, and that was a simple oversight. It doesn't mean anything that he's not wearing the ring. It was just a mistake. Nothing to worry about. All right, so they're going to go over their objectives. This is the weird fade out. Is this the 2B? No! Holy shit, this update just keeps... Oh, no, there it is. That's a weird way to... Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's a to be continued, and there's the Khemia. Fuck, man, I love this fucking series. Okay, so here's the thing, right? In a lot of the games that I play for this channel, when games spend a lot of time going over the character's thoughts over some sort of mundane thing, and sometimes it seems like they repeat themselves in their examination of their surroundings, it can seem a little boring, which sucks because they have to establish the setting, you know? You have to establish what's going on. But I don't know specifically why, but something about how this game does it, I never feel bored. I never feel like they're retreading ground. They're always saying something that is fucking interesting and and something that's fucking impressive and then adds to the lore of it all. I don't know. I don't know specifically why. All I know is that there is a reason why Ad Astra is my #2 favorite visual novel of all time. Okay? There's a reason why it's up there. And the same people who made this made my #1 favorite visual novel of all time. And the more this goes, I can easily say, now that it's had a second update, because it would feel weird to put a game that's been updated once on my top 10 list. This has already beaten out Major Minor. So this is at least replacing that as number 10. And I imagine, much like how last time I made the top visual novels list, Ad Astra was really low, but that was because it had been updated like once or twice. Since then, Ad Astra's finished, and now this has been updated once or twice, so it has to be on the list. It has to be on the list. I fucking love it. Oh my god, it's so fucking interesting. And like, the integration of the other is like right out the gate. Like this there's not even a pretense, because they don't have to, because the main character isn't a human. They don't have to adapt to, oh, what is Ad Astra? Look at these wolves. What the fuck is that? I don't have to do that, because it's already been done in the first one, and the main character is already familiar with that planet and vaguely with this one. So they can come out the gate establishing character way more, which is one of the flaws of Ad Astra, the game, is that the main character, the human, not very well defined. They have a few vague things about them, but it's kind of a self-insert. Whereas this is a defined fucking character. They have a past. Has there been a choice? I don't even remember, because the last episode was 4 months ago. But fuck, man. Oh my god, I am so fucking enthralled with the worlds, the universe that is this game. And I know it's getting like a cliche at this point, but like, the other has to be the explanation of what the fuck's going on in Echo. It fucking has to be, because it's exactly the same with the shadowy version on the other side of the wall. That's like exactly what the fuck it was, and it preys on people the exact same way that it does in Echo.
being changed with mind-altering drugs, and then preying on people who have insecurities and mental problems. Like, bro. Oh my god, man. Even outside of that, just this in and of itself, they're approaching Neferu in a completely different way. And there's a small cynical side of me that's like, oh, are they just giving a lot of attention to our relationship with Neferu because a lot of people wanted to fuck Neferu in the first one? I doubt it. They're actually doing something very interesting with the character. They're not just turning it into a thirst trap. They're actually fucking like going into the complexities of the diplomacy that would be the somewhat disgraced prince coming home and bringing with him someone he knows he can't trust but still has to. Like, I'm so fucking excited to see this game continue. I'm so fucking excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay. Gotta do the formal shit. Links in the description if you want to download this game and play it for yourself. Also to follow me on social medias if you would want, or to support me on crowdfunding sources if that's your bag. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to be updated when future episodes of this game come out. And if you don't want to wait for those, I have linked in the cards up above to some stuff that I've already done you might like as well. With that all being said, everyone, I have been the Trained and Professional. Thank you so fucking much for watching. God damn it, I'm excited. I'll see you next time. I hope it's not another 4 months. They gotta finish Echo first, and then I imagine this game's gonna get like up. Well, no, because the sequel to Echo is happening. I don't know, man. Ah, God. Okay, bye. Jesus, I'm fucking. I need to change my pants with how fucking excited I am. Christ.